Hey guys, for this episode we're back into the middle of the silver rank for Master Duel ranked ladder. Ran into some funny names and had some really powerful boards in this episode, so look forward to that. So let's jump into it. Pegasus. Oh, I hope it's not the real Pegasus. I don't know if I'd be able to handle toon monsters. I'm pretty sure, actually, that's kind of a funny matchup, right? You negate the field spell and then their deck stops working. So I don't know if that one would be too big of a concern. Blue and Jet absolutely glued to our opening hand. Incredible. Unfortunately, don't know if we're gonna get a chance. Oh, we will get to play it out. Okay, okay. Our opponent does appear to have something for us, though. So let's go normal summon Jet. Special summon blue. Blue effect to search. And we'll get a second Jet. We're not going to mess up this time. This is going to look a little bit strange, board-wise, that's for sure. Jet for starter. Good starter. Don't know if we're going to be able to play this one out. Looks like our opponent's having some technical difficulties. That's okay. We're just gonna go as best we can here and just do what we need to do. Hit our gigantic. We are under an extra monster effect negate. Ah, interesting. So looks like our opponent's been prompted for something on their end. This was our 5th summon. Unfortunately, a little bit of a simulator moment here. And yeah, thankfully we can stop that. And this is why it's important to play into your negations when you can. And gigantic, does this resolve? Do they have another? If they have another interruption, we might be in a bit of a sticky. No, they don't. They don't. So that'll be all. Send a swap frog. Not sure if this one's going to play out at this point, because I will say I do think that Nibiru was probably their one and only chance to maybe walk away with this one if we hadn't played around it. And we fortunately we did, so that's all there is to it. All right, get some more free stuff. Get our Ronin Totem, which we can use twice. We'll get into, actually we can use it more than twice. We can use it all 3 times. Gotta love Ronin Totem. Okay, and what do we have in grave? We can get yeah, let's get Ronin Totem back immediately. There we go. And we'll link these two off for IP. A little bit, I miszoned my gigantic. I could have kept it. I don't think it's the end of the world. Use Ronin Totem one last time. That's right. Absolutely fair card. Our last tribute fodder negation and potentially extra IP Masquerena material. Use our elf. We actually... Okay, we can't get our giant. We're not going to make the mistake this time. We are going to leave the blue in grave. That's for sure. So we got all kinds of material. This board represents, actually, effectively, a whopping 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6 monster effect negates, which is quite strong. Again, does get blown out by board destruction, so hopefully we don't see that. But we did make it to our opponent's turn, even with them appearing to have a little bit of connection difficulties, so we'll see. We know one of the cards in their hand is Nibiru, so basically a dead card for them at this point. Be interested to see what, if anything, they have, or if they're able to play the game. But I do imagine getting basically a full board setup here is pretty unfortunate for them. Toggle on for sure. Do have access to quite a few things. Oh, Pot of Extravagance. Okay. They are going to banish 6 here. We could use Elf right away to get back blue. I think we will. Because I've got a funny feeling that they may draw into something pretty challenging for us to deal with. So let's just go ahead and get our free search here. Or maybe if they drew into an Ash Blossom, looks like they didn't. Get our jet for next turn. Now, interestingly, we do actually have to be careful of Nibiru here, because we've summoned once on their turn. Funnily enough, our deck, in some circumstances, actually can summon quite a few times on our opponent's turn, and IP will definitely be one of those. It actually is Toon Monsters. You're kidding me. That's hilarious. Okay. Well, we don't actually have a response to Bookmark. That's okay. We will have many ways to kind of deal with what we need to deal with here, I think. So we should be able to get the... Ooh, Comic Hand. So that's only going to be relevant if our opponent does have Toon World, exactly. Which it looks like they do. When this card is activated, your opponent cannot target... If a Toon monster you control be destroyed, your opponent cannot target Toon monsters. Yeah, so this card doesn't inherently have any protection. So let's go ahead and use IP here. I'll admit, I'll be the first to say, we are basically completely hoping here that they do not have a second copy of the field spell. And we are going to be discarding our jet, which is our follow-up, which feels a little bad. I probably could have held on to one of my infinite impermanences here. Would have maybe felt a little bit better. Get that off the board. So we know one card's Comic Hand, we know one card's Nibiru. That's out of the way. Ooh, Blackstone Legend. So this is going to look a little bit strange, but I'm actually going to use Infinite Impermanence on this now. Because that will actually negate a back row column, and it'll tribute, and I believe it will still just resolve negated when they do it. And what's interesting about this, a little bit of another simulator moment for you guys, is it does give your opponent the prompt for it, but it will be negated on resolution, so they just destroy their own monster for free. And that was their normal summon, so unless they have exactly Toon World and I think a couple of free Toon special summons as their last monsters, they're done, which it looks like they were. Okay. Okay, well, sorry Pegasus, all the money for your mansions couldn't buy you the cards you needed for that one, for sure. But that's okay. We're cruising along here on to our second game of Silver 3 against 735-315. I hope that isn't somebody's social insurance number. Don't look that up. Ooh, okay. This is not a good hand. This is absolutely not a good hand. It gets us there. It gets us there, but it's frankly kind of concerning, actually, the manner in which it does get us there. We are going to lose out on some serious material here, I think. Going to detach Carrot. Okay, no response from our opponent. If we get blue, we get Jet, and we can get red back. Okay. Now our opponent can't Nibiru us because we did resolve Gigantic, which is good. Good starter. And we will get our carrot back here. Or excuse me, our red. And we'll get our elf as well. And what can we bring back here? Not really anything too relevant, but we are going to do it. Just so we... interestingly, we could get IP as well, but that kind of... Actually, you know what? Let's get carrot. Let's get carrot. And we'll... Okay, this is a fair bit. We do still... It looks okay, right? Like, we still have a monster negate and a spell trap negate, and obviously Called by the Grave and an Ash, but ignoring the Called by the Grave and the Ash, from a monster standpoint, this is actually a fair bit weaker than any of the other hands we've had so far. This was a little bit crusty to get to where we're at right now. So we'll see what our opponent has for us. If anything, if assuming they aren't also having technical difficulties. Guard Dragons. Okay. Okay. I am going to still use Sprite Elf here. I do think it's important to get our follow-up, or rather some more tribute fodder material as soon as possible here. We don't have IP, sadly, so we're basically just sitting on 4 negates and a dream at this point. So hopefully our opponent doesn't just, you know, summon a monster that doesn't activate any effects and punches all of our guys down. That would be pretty bad. Battle phase. Okay. Now, there is... I'm not sure if this is trying to throw or not, but there actually is a potential play here. This card can actually Monster Reborn itself for free if a normal monster sent to grave. So they, believe it or not, there's a 50-50 chance here. This is someone playing a weaker deck who just wants this duel over with, or trying to... Oh, okay. They might be thinking about it. I'm wondering if this is actually trying to make a play, if they're taking this long to decide. Okay, no, they're not. They're not. Okay. That's okay. Sometimes we run into these. We take them. We take them. And blew off the top. Wow. We're just that crazy. That's okay. We don't need to... I understand why we would want to... you know... do some fancy plays here, but we can banish starter from our grave. That's funny. And we'll banish Jet because we can reborn a second Jet here. Actually, yeah. Let's just get these off the field here. And we'll Elf. Get back our Jet. And this is our whole entire squad. And our opponent doesn't have anything for us. Okay. And that's game. Okay, so we're cruising. We're cruising pretty quick here. Sometimes you run into better games than others. Sometimes you run into, you know, Eldritch playing, you know, actual engine and potentially scary fusion cards. And sometimes, you know, different people play for different reasons, right? Some people are just here to have fun, so that's all good. But we are up to Silver Tier 2 now. We'll get our 100 gems and our goodies, and we'll cruise on to the next rank. Let's get into it. On to Silver 2. Ooh, we've got the Oh, geez, of course the name just immediately went out of my mind. It's the zombie archetype. It's not Nemesis. Looks like Nemesis. Obviously, a lot of it's based off of, you know, flavor text from Resident Evil. Smarter me, edit that in afterwards, because it's going to drive me nuts, and it's going to drive everybody else nuts, because I'm actually not going to be able to remember it. Thankfully, I can still commit a little bit of my brain power to trying while we're playing here, because fortunately we drew a pretty crazy good hand here. We can actually special summon red immediately, so second summon and we already have a monster effect negate up on board. We already use starter. We could use starter to... Actually, no. You know what? This time I am going to get smashers. This time, let's do something a little bit different here this time. Oh, we haven't even normal summoned yet. Wow. There's a world... Hold on now. If we're being particularly cautious. So this was summon 1, 2, 3. Then gigantic summon number 4. So I don't think we're going to have to worry too much here. If our opponent happens to have an interaction for us, we might be in trouble, but they do not, so we are good. Could summon Carrot here, but I think we're going to get more value out of going the frog line here. You know him well. He's Ronin Totem. Get our elf. We will get our... Oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a very big mistake. I should have waited. Why did I do that? Okay. That was a very big mistake. That's okay. We still have a ton of resources we can weave through here. Let's get our blue back. If we make IP, yeah, we'll have to commit our jet to the field here to make this anything of value. Ooh, that was a pretty costly mistake. That cost us about 3 materials worth of monsters. But that's okay. It's not okay, actually. It's kind of terrible, but we will be able to cycle through pretty much everything we need. We do have a unicorn spin. We also have a red negate, which we'll probably try to use as soon as possible, and then we can smashers for a card. And we have Ash, so we do still have 1, 2. Definitely 3, 4 interruptions. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. That's okay. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite us. A board wipe right here would be very concerning, that's for sure. We would probably commit the whole board into one gigantic Masquerena, or excuse me, Masquerena into Appaloosa play there. Vendreads. Golden Castle of Stromberg. Okay, this card doesn't actually have any targeting protection. I'm just going to get our elf value right now. You know, get our... I'm actually going to get Jet this time. I'd like to search Starter just so I know for certain that we have a good play for next turn. Get our blue, get any other name, guaranteed gigantic, you know how it goes. Okay. So what do we have here? can special summon. You cannot normal summon. Deactivate this effect. So what's interesting here is Smashers will cause this card not only not to resolve, but its activation will have happened, basically. So it will still... this is a weird way of saying it will still lock our opponent into their... I think Smashers actually gets a ton of value here. So let's banish the starter from our grave. And one of the jets we have, probably one in attack position here. It's just so we don't take damage. I think that should cause it to resolve without effect and still lock our opponent, if I recall my rulings correctly. If you're wondering about that, basically field spells are treated as continuous spells, so they need to be on the field when they resolve, basically, in order for their effect to happen. They need to... The card still needs to be there, basically. So our opponent's probably a little bit confused right now if they're not actually familiar with this ruling. Assuming I am being correct here and not you know, speaking out of tone. It looks like I was correct. Okay, so our opponent got probably saw what happened there, got a little bit baffled, and went, "Oh, I can't do anything." Yeah, not the funnest place to be in, but that's okay. We can pretty easily push for game here, I think. Get blue. We're not actually going to go into jet off of this because our jet won't have any search targets, so it doesn't really give us much value. Actually, we are going to need attack value, but that's okay. We can pretty easily produce as much attack value as we need here under basically any restriction you could imagine. I don't actually know. I don't think this is lethal just because IP is so weak, but we can easily go into a larger monster here. Let's go into dark. We don't see enough dark, and we'll have a very strong, very easily protected dark. Because it was made with IP. And then we'll use Elf, and we can even bring back, technically our Gigantic if we wanted to, which is kind of funny. Oh, we can't. We can't. Okay, so we're locked into... That's okay. We'll get our blue back. This should be more than lethal if my math is right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, our opponent did the math faster than we did, and that's okay. We had everything we could possibly need there. So I'm just happy I remembered Vendrett's existed before that game was over. I'm sure. I appreciate your guys' patience. Don't make too much fun of me. But yeah. So with that, that one's behind us. We did it. Let's go on to our next hopeful win and get us out of our Silver 2. On to our match against Thick Waifu. Definitely an interesting choice in username, and obviously we've got Ash Blossom that goes along with that. A little bit concerning, but that's okay. Oh, now we have a bit of an interesting play here. I wonder if our opponent has an interaction for us, because if they do, they don't. Okay, so we do already have blue in hand. And actually, no, it's just blue. So whatever this is needs to be alive for sure. Let's get Jet. Get our search. We'll get our smashers, because that actually felt pretty good last game when we searched it. I'll admit that was definitely a pretty big highlight, actually. Getting to basically shut off an entire Stromberg deck just by, you know, getting rid of the field spell when they try to activate it. That's quite funny how important of an interaction that is for the deck. So, and this should be summon number 4. So we're not worried about Nibiru yet. Question is, does it resolve? We'll attach our blue. And it looks like it does. Okay, so what are we going to do this time, guys? We're going to not screw up the only thing this deck does repeatedly. Dump our Ronin Totem. Get our elf. These are learning experiences, right? This is how we learn, this is how we grow, and this is how we permanently remember not to do dumb things. Back our Swap Frog. Use its effect again. Dump another Swap Frog. Get our Ronin Totem. Make our IP. Oh, did we have another? No, we didn't. Okay. Get our IP. I wonder if they'll add the alt art for IP Masquerena into Master Duel this year. That would be nice. I think the alt arts options that they have, like where they've already added Eldritch and things like that, I think some of that stuff's awesome. So could be really cool. But now this board looks pretty intimidating. Let's see what Thick Waifu has for us, because we've got too much for the Thick Waifu to handle. Oh, that's I mean, I don't blame them. I don't blame them for that. That's well worth a rank up to Silver Tier 1. That was, I would say, about one Sprite carrot off from being the strongest opening board our deck can possibly produce. So what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more awesome content like this. See you guys in the next video.